Hello everyone, this is Ketish here. In this video, I'm going to go through the AQA Biology Paper 1 Higher Tier from 2019. Question number 7 is on the topic of cell biology. A small animal called an axolotl lives in water. The axolotl has a double circulatory system. Well, we humans have a double circulatory system as well. Define the term double circulatory system. It basically means that blood is pumped around the heart twice. And we have a left side and the right side, which separates out the oxygenated and deoxygenated blood. So the blood actually goes through twice or two different parts of the heart. So how do you describe this? We could say blood enters the heart twice for every one circuit around the body. Now, what does this actually mean? Actually, I can use the diagram below. So figure 7 shows a double circulatory system of the axolotl, which is very similar to the human. So gas exchange surface is actually found in the lungs, right? So if blood goes, let's say, from the lungs to the heart, right? From the heart, it goes to the body. So from the heart, it goes to the body. Right? From the body, it goes back to the heart again before going to the lungs. You could also say for double circulatory system, blood is pumped to the body by the left side of the heart and to the lungs by the right side of the heart. Right. So let's have a look at the question. The heart of the axolotl have only one ventricle. Label the ventricle on figure 7. Now, where would you have the heart of the axolotl has only one ventricle. So the ventricle is the bottom bit. So anywhere in this area is basically the ventricle. The top bit, remember, is the atrium. Humans actually have 2 ventricles and 2 atrium. Explain why having only one ventricle makes the circulatory system less efficient than having 2 ventricles. Now, in a human heart, which basically is looks like this, right? The top part and the bottom part like this. So left atrium, right atrium, left ventricle, right ventricle. So on the left side you have oxygenated blood, and on the right hand side you have deoxygenated blood, and they don't mix together. But in an axolotl, if it only has one ventricle, the oxygenated blood and the deoxygenated blood is going to get mixed up. If that's mixed up, that means the blood that is going to the body is only 50% full of oxygen, while the blood that is going to the lungs already has 50% oxygen. So it is less efficient. So oxygenated and deoxygenated blood mixes so less oxygen reaches the body tissue. Figure 9 shows an axolotl, which basically looks like a lizard, but it's actually a bit slimy, and it looks like a tadpole as well. It has a tail, which helps it to swim, and it has gills like a fish. The gills, similar to a fish, should help it to breathe, or that's the gas exchange surface. Right. Explain why an axolotl may die in water with a low concentration of oxygen. Now, if the oxygen outside is low concentration, okay, so why would it die? Well, the axolotl is trying to absorb the oxygen from the outside through the gills and into the body. And the process by which it's going to go do it is by simple diffusion. It's not going to spend energy trying to absorb gases. So it's relying on diffusion for the oxygen to move into the body through the gills. If the concentration of oxygen is low, then the rate of diffusion is going to be less. So the axolotl might not get enough oxygen into the body. That means it can't carry out aerobic respiration. That means it's not going to be able to release enough energy, which means it can actually die. Right? So 4 marks. Let's write the answer. The concentration gradient of oxygen is less steep, right? So less oxygen would diffuse into the blood through the gills. So less aerobic respiration takes place, rather than saying so again, hence less energy is released. Again, don't use the word produced. Less energy is released. So if less energy is released, this reduces the metabolism, meaning all the chemical reactions, right? Now that should give you the 4 marks. Now You might think, oh, hold on, if you're talking about aerobic respiration and less energy being released, can we talk about anaerobic respiration? Yes, you can, right? You could say, instead of the fourth point, you could say this point. Anaerobic respiration takes place to produce lactic acid, which is toxic. That would actually imply that that's danger to the health of the axolotl. If a gill of an axolotl is removed, a new gill will grow in its place. Scientists hope to use information on how axolotl grow new gills to help with regenerating human tissue. Name the type of cell that divides. Name the type of cell, not the cell division. Nearly misread it. Name the type of cell that divides when a new cell grows. That's actually stem cells. See, initially looking at it, I thought they were asking about the type of cell division, and I nearly wrote mitosis. Name one condition that could be treated using regenerated human tissue. You could treat paralysis. Is when you actually have damaged the nerves in your spine, which leads to paralysis. So if you can regenerate it, that will be good. Or you could also treat diabetes, so that your pancreas produces new cells which is capable of producing insulin if your body has stopped producing insulin. Suggest one reason why an axolotl is a suitable animal for research in the lab. Well, could it be the size? Right? Yeah, they are quite small, and they would need to just grow in water, so they can be grown like fish, right? So small, so easy to keep or to breed. And they're asking for one reason, so I've actually said two. They're small, so easy to keep, right? They're cheap as well, since they don't take up too much space. An axolotl may not be a suitable animal to study when researching regeneration in human tissue. So there could be a disadvantage as well. Why? Well, it might not have the same genome as us. They don't have similar genes as us. Definitely, it's not a mammal. Right? It's a reptile. Sorry, it's not a reptile. Amphibian. Right? So it is not a mammal. It is an amphibian. Like a frog, it can live inside and outside the water. It can't live for too long outside the water. If it dries up, it'll die. So it needs a moist skin, like the frog, to absorb the oxygen from the air. You could also say the metabolism in an axolotl is very different to that of a human as well. And the way it regenerates the gills may be different to that in other organs, like in humans. That brings us to the end of question number 7, and I will see you in question number 8.